Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wink at Sports by myself, just for the weekly one because there's only really one game this week and one other game to talk about. But we will do a All Star break kind of breakdown of the season so far. But we're just gonna go over this week and last week's game that happened. Last week's game was against Ottawa. They ended up losing to Ottawa in overtime. It's still not going to be easy for the Wings, I guess, to face Ottawa, even though they are a weaker team at the moment. But hey, you ended the month of January with a point. It was a 3-2 loss in overtime. Still a good game overall for the Wings. They did well throughout the game. They matched well. Uh, and they really held them to 25 shots the whole entire game, which is low for the Wings because their defense does suck for the most part. Has always let up at least between 35 and 40 shots. So under 30 is actually pretty good, but 25 they only got 25 on shots on that too. But it was a good defensive game all around for once for the Wings, which is good. Uh, and you end the month with a point, and that's kind of what you need going into the All Star break. You're up in the standings, still in that wild card spot, sitting pretty much in that final card spot, tied with Toronto going into the rest of the year. 1 point behind Tampa, and still a good amount of points behind Florida and Boston. If you're eyeing that third spot in the division, it's still in sights, and it's what you want. You're up a good amount on everybody else in for the wild card spot. You are up 3 games on the Islanders, who don't even have as many regulation wins as the next 5, 6 teams behind them. So it is a good opportunity for the Wings to continue the year out going into the month of February. They do need some good games going on. They are not going to have, again, the easiest time, but you're heading into an easier month overall, standings wise. I mean, they're going to start against a good Canucks team, and then they're going to go against the Oilers, who are hot, and then the Canucks again, and then the Flames, who are 500, Kraken, Avalanche, who are a good team, Blues, who are just slightly above 500, Blackhawks, Capitals, and Islanders. So you're still facing a lot of good teams, but you've been doing well the past couple of months. We weren't sure how they were going to do, but they ended up doing pretty well, surprisingly, throughout the rest of January from what we thought was not going to be an easy time for them. And you still finished above 500 coming out after the All Star break in that playoff spot that we weren't sure you were going to be in at this point. And it's kind of what you need. It gives you hope, right? The Lions gave us hope with the football side, and now the Wings are giving us hope on the hockey side where they're sitting in a good spot, and it's what you want. You're going to see how you are after a long break because you're not playing till Saturday. I'm doing this kind of early in the week, but that's usually when I put the breakdowns down. I wasn't able to get to it till a little bit later in the day today. Uh, and it will get posted a little bit later than it usually does, but I'm getting it out there. But we're facing a good Canucks team on Saturday. It is an earlier game, a 1 o'clock game, as your one lone game for the week. And you get a nice long break. Kane should be back for that game. He should be mostly healthy. We'll see who starts, whether it's going to be Husso or Leinen. I think Leinen's going to get majority of the starts the rest of the year just because of how he's been playing as Husso slowly gets back into playing. And it's going to be a good, fun game to watch. Um, but Vancouver is a very, very good team. 3.8 shots or goals per game, 2.55 goals against your 3.48 and 3.22. They're averaging about 28 shots per game and 30 shots against. So it's not going to be easy. I expect Vancouver to do what most teams do against us and get up near 40 shots a game. But it's going to be a good game. They have a good power play at 25% and a good penalty kill at 80. You have slightly better penalty kill percentage than them at 81, but slightly less on the power play at 22. But it's going to be a good game overall. If the Wings can end up starting the month, I mean, you only got 10 games in February. If you can start the month out, at least I say go 500 for the month of February, you're going to be good. Continue that role of you winning more than you're losing, or at least being 500 kind of the rest of the way, and you're going to be good. I mean, it is a good time to look at the Wings and feel confident about them. Larkin is playing really well. He's leading the team in points and goals. He has 23 so far in the year, 47 points. Raymond's doing good on the assists. He leads the team at 28. And then you got like the Brinket doing well. Kane, even though, right, he kind of started late, he's doing well. A lot of the players on the team are doing well, and it's spread out pretty well amongst everybody. So you're going to have a good team going for the rest of the year. And that's kind of what you want. I mean, when you have a, the amount of games you have left, you have 32 games left in a year. And it needs to get to that point where you are confident in this team that it can go forward, which I fully am. I think they're going to have an easy time the rest of the way, winning some games. I mean, you're going to go on your streaks where you win a good amount. You're going to go on your streaks where you lose a good amount. And if they can just avoid long losing streaks, because when you go to the western part of Canada, after you have one home game against the Canucks, and then you go to the western part of Canada to face the Oilers, Canucks, and Flames, and then you kind of stay over there for Seattle. You're going to be gone for a week, and if you're not prepared to play that week on the West Coast, you might lose 4 games, and we don't want to do that. You want to try and split that West Coast trip. That way, you at least come back feeling good about yourself before you go on your little homestead. Uh, while you take a quick detour to Chicago during the middle of it, because you're mostly at home the second half of the month and away the front half of the month. So you want to make sure you try to get those road wins to make those home wins a little bit better for you at the end of the month. But we'll see what ends up happening with them. It's going to be overall fairly interesting how the month goes, since it is a lot of good teams, and it's really a lot of good teams the rest of the way throughout the year. I think the easiest month for them is actually April, the last 8 games of the year, is when they kind of face a few teams that aren't as good, especially like a home and home to end the year against Montreal. It's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the year goes with where they're sitting, what their decisions are, especially with the trade deadline coming up. But like I said, we'll get more into that into like where the Wings are at this current moment video later on this week. But the Canucks game should be good. I expect them to probably come out win that game. I don't know. The Canucks probably have a game earlier in the week. I would not be surprised. Um, which they do. They have 2 games before us. They're in Carolina and Boston. So they're going to get a little bit warmed up this week before they play us while we're on that long break. So we'll see how this full up. They might be too tired because they do play in Boston on Thursday and then come to Detroit on Saturday compared to us waiting until Saturday to play. So we'll see how that all heads out. But let me know what you think about how the Wings have been doing. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video around. And until next time, hope to see everybody soon.